Hey guys, welcome back to AFK Journey. In today's video, I wanted to update you guys on some Shellbrute testing that both Pridewin and Analytica have been doing, so I'll update you on theirs. And basically what I adjusted in their teams to work for me on the test server to get my personal best scores. Once again, these things are very much dependent on what you have and what you have built, so you can play around. Also on the test server, we do have the boss below 50%, so I am using the Vala strategy, which is actually proven to be my best score at the moment, combined with some of the stuff that they provided over on Pridewin. So let's go to actually one thing I want to get into before I go any further into this. I mentioned it at the end of my last Shellbrute video, but with these bosses, don't look at these teams and go, I have to go build these heroes. With this, it's just use what you have to build the best team possible is my approach on these bosses. I don't sweat them too hard. Like, do your best, but don't be like impacting the rest of your account and what your pool decisions are based on what is working well in these things, because at the end of the day, this is a very short-term gain that you're going to get out of this, and it's really not the end of the world. So I just wanted to have that as a preface, and then we'll jump in and I'll show you guys this team that I'm using, where I didn't actually have my 2 damage dealers as my highest level units, so we'll go ahead and see if we can hit the cap on loot boxes with that over here on my test server. But let's jump over to Pridewin. Once again, a massive shout out to Pridewin and the Analytica Discord. I'll leave all the links in the description. I am not the biggest genius in the community. I love going to these different communities where you have a bunch of people putting theories together, testing things, and that's where a lot of this information comes from. I'm not claiming any of this as my own. I just want to give the massive credit where it is due to Analytica and Pridewin. So let's go through this new team that they came up with, which is, we've got the Rowan. Basically, you've got the 3 light bearers. This gives you the light bearer bonus, which then allows you to get Rowan to ult more, to allow your main DPS to ult more. And then we are using the one that gives us the resonator, where it's a resonating spell. So we're getting the buffs on our main DPS, which in this team is going to be the Corrin. And I've adjusted that on mine, but this is one they're looking at where they do say you can use Tamesia instead of Sinbad if you don't have him. However, maybe you could get away with using maybe like a Merrily, possibly, if you don't have Sinbad at all. I haven't really tested this because I am in the below 50%, so I've been using the Vala strategy, but that is definitely one. And they also adjusted their Mauler team, so if you are using the Maulers, you can definitely test this out. This strategy is basically teleporting the 2 Freystos to the front row and using Kruger for the shred. Now I'm tipping the Kruger for the shred is for the Freystos because we are still using a magic damage dealer as our main source of damage, but if you want to, you can go ahead and test that out. They also said that you can use Seth instead, but he has to be the same ascension as the Kruger. So yeah, that's one I have not personally tested, but once again, it's another option for you guys. This Wilder team still rings true to what it was the whole time, but once again, this Lightbearer team is something that is definitely an option if you guys want to go ahead and do it. The Rowan strategy is always good this season because you can just infinitely loop ults essentially, because Rowan gets the double ult and then you just get so much energy that it's ridiculous. But like I said, I wanted to jump over here and show you guys the team that I ended up using. So I did it a little bit different to their formation. I left that Smokey in the front, and then I've got Violet and Rowan in the back. We've got the normal Freysto over here in front of the Rowan to give him the extra energy so that he can keep churning out those ultimates that little bit faster, because once again, because we do have the light bearer buff, it means he's going to be double ulting every time. But then we've also got the resonating spell, mine's only level 20, over here on my Vala, so that she's going to double ult as well. And because they're both going to, Rowan's going to run up in the melee range, Vala's going to be in melee range, because the boss is below 50%, it means we're just going to be churning out those ults. Now, I'd be curious to see, and we'll do 2 tests this time because I've only tested it once because obviously we're limited on tests. We're going to do this one with my Corrin, who is at Mythic Plus, and then out of curiosity, I will chuck in my 1 copy of Sinbad, if I can ever find where the dude is, and test him in the spot of Corrin to see if it gives us better damage, just out of curiosity. But I don't think it will, just because of Ascensions, but let's play around with it and see how we go. So what I'm going to do first is go ahead and change these levels around to my 2 main damage dealers, and that's where we're going to start it. Let's see how we go. Like I said, this far and away beat my my best score from yesterday, and I hadn't actually adjusted the positions, the levels of my characters, so it was just way better than what my Wilder team could do. And once again, that's probably heavily due to the fact that Vala is in execute range of the boss, and I stupidly didn't test it for the last 2 days, the Vala thing, because it's always a strategy. So as you can see, we're at 8 chests so far. All I'm worried about is getting to the max chest level, which we may drop short. We may only hit like 18, but keep in mind, you know, I haven't been spending diamonds on getting the experience. I haven't really stressed too much on levels because this season I am in my district is paired with server 1 from the test server, which means there is just no hope for me in anything that has district ranks. So I'm not overly stressed. So as you can see here, like you can see the Vala. You can see the Vala just churning it out. And also that Rowan with the ult. So Rowan is using his ult, we're getting the energy. The other Rowan's using the ult, we're getting the energy. And now Rowan's using his ult again. And Vala is just double sniping every time. So we're at 17. Maybe we get into 18. I actually ended up really close to 18 last time without those extra levels into them. And there we go. We do jump into the 18, which 18 chests, listen, I'm pretty cool with that. We're missing what, like, it's not the end of the world. But that is a look at what we're doing. As you can see, we are unranked because, one, I went on holidays and I'm just behind on levels. And if you looked at my district, we are paired with server 1. And pairing with server 1 in anything in this game just makes you just destroyed. So that is that one. Let's go ahead because I'm curious to see, because once again, this team is not going to be relevant for most people on global server for maybe a few days to a week, but just something to keep in mind because Vala is always an option when you get below 50% on these bosses. Keeping in mind, Seth is another one that really can benefit from this. Be curious to test something with like Seth and maybe even Shakir, but that's more of a luxury thing that I don't think as many people have built. So I'm not going to dive into that, but let's go ahead and try the Sinbad so we can get those extra debuffs and see the damage. And I'll look at the damage calcs after this to show you guys how much damage my current was actually doing because I forgot to look at them. But let's go ahead and test this for a bit of fun and see how it goes to see if we can get ourselves a little bit of a better score. I honestly don't think this is going to go as well. Dude, Sinbad got eaten. Sinbad was the first gobble. No, we didn't even get the marks on. Oh, no. Okay, we may have had to go with the formation that they had on Pride Win because that's bad. That's very Sinbad. Dude, we didn't even get the marks for amplification, and I don't have any dupes into my Presto, so he ain't doing anything for us. Oh, that was an absolute flop. Okay, Sinbad's out. Is he marking? Okay, we've got the marks on now. Okay, definitely you need, because I adjusted the positioning of my Presto to put the damage mitigation over on the Vala from compared to what Pride Win had. That was obviously a big mistake by me. So yeah, don't be stupid like me if you go ahead and try that. But yeah, I don't think Sinbad is gonna quite cut it. I think the Corrin was doing too much for us, and there's no one else we can drop from this team to allow that Sinbad in when I'm using the Vala strategy, because obviously we need the Presto to get gobbled, and we need the sustain from the Smoky. So we can't really swap anything else out. So that was a bit of a flop run. Completely fudded on the flopped it on the strategy, but yeah, that was a bit of a dud. It is what it is, but yeah, don't do that. Sinbad gets eaten in that position. But as you can see, like I said, once you do get below 50, you can definitely try it out. As I said, I'm on District 1 and I just really don't care about rankings, but I just wanted to reiterate that point of don't go chasing these units to build. Like I mentioned, like Seth is an option. Don't go chasing him when we've got so many other A levels to build in the Maulers. Just make the best of what you can. Look at these videos. Look at Pride Win. Look at Analytica. See anything that they are using. Look at other people around. See what they're using and adjust it for what you have on your account. Because once again, even though it is nice to get high scores in these things, it's not the absolute end of the world, and I don't think you should adjust what you're pulling on your account based on some of these Primal Lord bosses. But anyway, guys, hopefully that can help you guys in the current state of the game, depending on what you have on your account with these teams over on Pride Win. And if you get down below 50%, I'd definitely test out the Vala. For me, it is working better than my beefed up Lily May strategy, but once again, wait and see, always test it out. And unfortunately, we don't get a test version, so we've always got to just do you 3 per day and see what works. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.